Welcome to another episode of This Is My Opinion. How are you? My name is Kayo, and as always, I'm your host. And today we're going to talk about a very special game that I have in my heart. And I was very, very, very surprised with that game. I know that I'm kind of late for the party, but I believe Baldur's Gate 3 is having like his 2 year anniversary. So let's talk about a little bit about Baldur's Gate. So about my story with Lyran Studios, I tried to play Divinity Original Sin 2. I played just the prologue and a little bit after that. I didn't like it because I thought that was slow. I didn't like that it wasn't voice acted, and it was and I again it's similar to D&D, but it's not quite the same thing. But Baldur's Gate is a perfect example for that. In Baldur's Gate, you have everything that I miss on Divisional Original Sin 2. And again, I put more than 150 hours on that game. And you say, oh, 150 hours is nothing. I put like 1,000 hours in League of Legends, you say. And I say, but 150 hours for me is a lot of time. In my average, I used to spend like 30 to 50 hours on games, like in each game. If a game passes 50 hours for me, is a game that I love. So for me to put like triple the amount of time in Baldur's Gate, that speaks volumes. Uh, I mean, I believe everybody that is watching this video already know about Baldur's Gate. But if you don't know anything about Baldur's Gate, I'm just gonna let the trailer pass like behind it. But what is Baldur's Gate? It's basically a RPG.
Now it is time for you
Let's
to draw.
mute that. It's basically an RPG where your choices matters. You have so many branching paths. You have one fixed story, but you have so many branching paths that you can take on that story. Like which companions you should take, how you build them. You have different choices. How do you relate with different characters? If you kill everybody, do you have the choice to do that? And the game responds accordingly. So as you can see, it's a pretty much a masterpiece. For me, Baldur's Gate is hard for me to say because I want to say that Baldur's Gate for me is perfect. And even so, you can make Baldur's Gate even more perfect 2 years after the launch because you have so many mods. In Baldur's Gate, right now on Nexus Mod, that is one of the biggest mods for PC, you have over 15,000 mods for Baldur's Gate. So you see how much everybody loves Baldur's Gate. You have so many mods for customization, other classes, other levels, and just continue talking about Baldur's Gate. Uh, so there a story based on D&D. You don't need to play Baldur's Gate 1, 2. I didn't play it, and I still can follow the story because the story is concise in one of itself. And why Baldur's Gate was so impactful? First of all, freedom. Second of all, the story written there is amazing. Third, liberty of choice. It seems when you play Baldur's Gate, really looks like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons on an okay is more restricted than when you play Dungeons and Dragons with your friends. But again, it's so much easier to follow that story. And I say that because I finished Baldur's Gate 3 times. I did my first playthrough. I was a wizard, and I play it safe. I spent like 100 hours on my first playthrough, and was really good. I made a wizard. I dated. I tried to date a Shadowheart, but since I was a player, I tried to date everybody because I was trying to knock off the achievements to have with with different characters. But again, my love for Shadowheart, best companion that you can have because I love her story. I love her backstory. I love her development as a character, and you can influence that to make her better. If you know, you know, or you can make it worse. If you know, you know, and you can realize her long dream or crush her dream, and you know, you know. So, and now you have all the various characters. You have Asterion, a vampire that is against his own master and try to break free for the chains. You have Will, the goody two shoes guy that was swingled by a demon. You have Will, that is basically a fucking wizard that fucks God. You have Karlach, that is an amazing character that is perfect to go against stereotypes because you would think, oh, she's like a big demon, she must be evil, but she is one of the characters with the biggest hearts on the game because she really cares for other beings. And you have Lazel. Fuck Lazel. I don't like Lazel. And also, you have so many other companions that you can unlock throughout the game that is completely optional. All the companions that you have is completely optional. And again, you can break that game, and that is a fun of it because the game allows you to break it. And again, your choices matters. And it's been such a long time that I was looking for a game when your choices matters. I love that game so much that I try to make my wife play it. She is not a gamer, so she just played a little bit. I think we played half of the first act and she gave up. It happens. But I also play with my friends that I put more than 80 hours on that campaign as well. That I was playing as a druid, and druids are fucking crazy because they can basically shapeshift into animals, and you can just have like 3 health bars, and it is amazing. And then we are almost finished that campaign as well. We are starting Act 3. So if you know, you know that is not even close. It is 3 acts, but they are big acts. And again, Baldur's Gate is a mature game because you can kill somebody. You can do so many other things, and you have so many different stories that you can play with, and so many different stories that you can live. We have like a couple of discussion with my older friend Arthur. He I keep insisting him to play the game alone because we have our campaign, like me, Arthur, and Louis, and I keep telling Arthur, just play on your own, and he's saying, "Oh, but it's the same map. The map didn't change. I want to discover things from together with you guys." And that campaign is basically a complete garbage that I'm doing with my friends because we are basically killing every single thing that moves. Because if we walk to the town and the townsfolk just say, "Oh yeah, I don't like you because you're ugly," okay, time to kill. So we're basically destroy every single quest, and I'm just saying, just replay it, and you're gonna understand. And when he started, he understand. Is a completely different stories. You can replay this game dozens of times, and you can discover so many things that you didn't know on your first try. You can find new pieces of a map. You can find hidden quests. You can find hidden NPCs, hidden weapons, hidden places, and everything is there for you to discover. But you are the one who needs to find. You don't have a question mark. I mean, sometimes you do, but most of the times you're just going around the map, discovering new characters, discovering new things. Boom, you find a new quest. Boom, you find a new companion, a new overpowered weapon for the build that you're not doing, but you just picked up anyway because it's fancy and cool. And it's very hard to have the same playthrough twice. You have to actively try to have the same thing happen over and over again for you to have the same playthrough twice. You have the same overall arcing story. That is basically you and your companions try to uh, defeat the absolute. Let's put it that way to avoid like major spoilers, even though the game is 2 years old. And for me, this is why Baldur's Gate is a masterpiece. Because it doesn't matter how many times you replay that game, you have so many other options. And more now that you have more now that you have 15,000 mods for you to customize and upgrade and change your adventure more and more again. I didn't play on PC because my main console is the PS5. I guess you already noticed because every single game that I play is on the PS5. But if you have to choose a version, 100% play it on a PC because the PC you have they Larian Studios are such a good company. They put in mods on the PS5, but it's not even close of these 15,000 mods that you have. Do you have like the main ones? But again, this is so much more. And the price in Steam is $80 Canadian. For me, completely worth it. If you really like RPGs, if you really like Dungeons and Dragons, you 100% should buy it, even without discount. I know that it goes against my motto because I have a motto that I'm only buying games with 50% off or more, but some games is worth it, even paying full price. So that's why every rule you have an exemption, and Baldur's Gate is one of exceptions for me. So it's completely worth it you to pay full price for this game. This game is beautiful. You have so many things to do and so many different things that you can do. So 100%, you should buy Baldur's Gate for the how long to beat. Just the main story is like 72 hours. Like I said, in my first playthrough, I was more than 100 hours and I could not do everything. He's saying completion is 177, but this is basically doing a lot of shortcuts. And if you really go deep down and play it, like my third option, I was doing just trying to get another trophies and to check out the Dark Urge quest line that is basically another game because you're basically a evil guy. Just on my dad save, I already have like more than 40 hours rushing, and I just starting Act 3. I rush like a lot of things, but I still put like 40 hours on it because you have so much new content that even if you see it one, you can choose different things. You can choose, oh, I'm gonna save the tieflings this time. Oh no, I'm gonna join the goblins and raid and kill every single one of them. So this is why Baldur's Gate for me is one of the rare games that is completely perfect. You don't have microtransactions. Everything on the game is on the game for you to use. Larian give it a huge support for that game and adding new classes, adding new modes, adding the making the you can even play split screen this game and making the split screen option like more viable and more reliable. They didn't need to do that, but it's still they make it possible. So for me, if you love D&D, you probably already bought that game. So just give it a shot. This is a very very good game that you should have and that you should buy. The other thing that I can look for it is on Steam DB, basically the Steam database for Baldur's Gate. Just to you think, even though it's a 3 year old, 2 year old game, you still have 72 concurrent players playing the game. That is a lot. But what I want to see is the prices for it. Uh, price history. Here is Canada, so the lowest price that you can buy is like $60 Canadians. You should buy it. Yes, you should. I'm a Brazilian, so I could buy for even cheaper for like $40. Thank you, Steam, for regulating the prices. And I don't know where's USA. In US, you can buy for 44 American dollars. Completely worth it. You're not gonna regret it. Just for the story. If you like to read and you have that interactivity with the story, you can basically trace your story. But again, if you don't like RPGs and if you don't like stories, if you don't like characters, if you don't like the battle system, even though you can avoid like most of the conflicts, that game is not for you, unfortunately. I just think that you're wrong because this is a fucking masterpiece. So thank you so much for listening to my rant, and I see you on the next one. Bye bye.